It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers, and hope you are doing well on your journey. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to share this content here on the Peace and Harmony channel. So today, we are going to zoom in and focus in on a great viewer question, and that is, why would a narcissist or a psychopath withhold sex? Why would they withhold intimacy? Why would they shut it down in the bedroom? Why would they deny me the closeness and intimacy with which, quote unquote, our relationship should be based on, should be founded on? I.e., we're married, we're lovers, we cohabitate together. This has been part of our relationship, and all of a sudden we're getting the cold shoulder, the silent treatment. And it's to understand that it's very, very common sense. I mean, essentially, to withhold sex is basically, it is the ultimate power play. In other words, it's like the one who's holding the ammunition. If they are not loading the gun, it's not going to go off. In other words, if they're withholding sex like a ammunition or, part of a contract or agreement where they're, holding it off in order to get you to constantly pay attention to them and inquire to them and take your mind off of yourself and constantly be in a state of doubt or wonder and then struggle to try to get this out of them or seduce them, is to say, you are up against, you're going to be putting yourself into a struggle dynamic. I mean, it's very textbook that someone with withhold sex is a means of power and control. Just bottom line, it's very, very common sense. Just like someone would control the checkbook all of a sudden. And that would be a state of power and control. That's how you get power and control over people, is through sex or their checkbook. If you no longer give them access, you no longer give them privilege, when this has been a part of your relationship, then that is obvious. Now, if there is a health issue which precludes this person from being able to fulfill that, then that's a whole nother thing. And this person could be dealing with this or experiencing this, or just, the heat is gone, the love is gone. It's a sign, it's a red flag that the, communication channels, especially positive, closeness and intimacy is to be a positive experience. And so if this is now no longer part of your relationship, then there's a certain pleasure or joy or reward that, or excitement or thrill, which is now removed from your relationship, and then it's going to have repercussions, how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Your frustration level is going to go through the roof. So, and then of course it's going to make you wonder, well, is there someone else who's fulfilling this for you? Because if you're not looking to me as you always do, then you must be looking to somebody else. And if you're in a committed relationship, then this is, a normal reaction, a normal consideration. And, so it does not mean unequivocally that this person is cheating, but it does signal that there are some red flags going on in the relationship, and that, you shouldn't have to beg and jump and squeal and dance to get, to get at going, to have that intimacy. Unless that's been part of your regular dynamic, and this is like the typical cycle that you all go through. But if it's withholding it for a long period of time, there's going to be a deprivation, there's going to be a deficit. It's eventually going to hit a tipping point where the pain is going to be great enough, the frustration is going to be looming to the point where you need to bring it up, you need to address it. So it's better to address it sooner than later. And just speak your fears. Why are you withholding this? This used to be real enjoyable, and I'd like to get back to that. Why are we slowing down here? Why are we non-existent? And ask them for an answer. See what they have to say. if there's a divisiveness in the relationship, then you're going to need to acknowledge that and then determine, okay, well, if this is, no longer going to be an active part of our relationship, then that's something I need to accept or, sublimate or deal with in some other manner that you can cope with. So it's very, I guess, very clear textbook example of how someone would, try to either state a message in the relationship that we no longer have that flame. I don't have that desire. I feel something is holding me back or is blocking us, or we have an issue we haven't dealt with, because usually people cannot be intimate if there's a looming issue that has not been resolved, be it a personal, professional, financial, familial. If there's unfinished business, then it would make sense that one would not engage in that closeness or intimacy because there's other things going on the back burner. So it's kind of like, it is a signal that something needs to be worked through. So you can also ask them that, what do we need to work through so our relationship can get back to this level of give and take, and I'm not always left wondering why we are not intimate anymore. I'm hurt. This makes me feel sad. This makes me feel, that I'm missing this, and I want to re-engage there. I want to reignite it. Are you in or are you out? So you can ask these questions to take their temperature and see where they're at on this, because it's important to know. And if you're afraid of discussing it, it does not get any better if you sweep it under the rug. It's just, it just gets worse. It causes more frustration, alienation. It's going to pop up in anger and resentment in other areas and other pockets of the relationship where, it's not necessary. So having conversations, speaking your fears, getting it out on the table, and just make it a natural conversation, and just say, I really want to talk to you about something. Can we address this? Is that okay? And get their acknowledgement that they can give you the eye attention and the receptive. Because if you're just yelling at them, you're so awful, you withhold from me, you're just, you're pushing them away. So you need to clear the tension. And if you have been angry at them, then you might want to come at it with some sort of apology first. I'm sorry for being frustrated. I got carried away here. I'm sorry that I got frustrated. My reaction was disproportionate. And, I apologize. This is very important to me. I feel this is very important to us. And then you can breach it like that and then get their input. And if they're not open to engaging, then they're not receptive. So then that means it cannot be discussed. And that's more of an indicator of a real issue. I mean, it's a real division. You're not seeing eye to eye, meeting belly to belly, toe to toe. And so if this is the case, then you have to then take it from there and say, okay, this individual is not open to me, and they're not wanting to engage in relations like this, and so this is going to now be missing or a deficit or lacking in our relationship. Can I accept that? And if you can accept it, then that's okay. If not, then you need to really make some big decisions for yourself and whether you're a good fit and a good match for this individual. Do not allow yourself to be manipulated and controlled, which leads to frustration, isolation, alienation. Get yourself clear on how you feel about intimacy, whether it's necessary or not, whether you want it with this person or not, and then move on from there. If you do want it and it's not present, then you need to look at some next action steps moving forward so you actually are empowered and in control. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.